going to be a really fun, uplifting day of things clicking into place for you. You're going to understand so many things about what's been going on in your life experience as we move forward. It's our dominant intention to help you to remember and maybe find a feeling place of that pure, positive energy that is you. We want to talk about why you're here and what it's all about. We want you to remember that you are extensions of source energy and that you are powerful creators, and that you've come knowing that into an environment where variety will inspire you to new desire. Because when a new desire is inspired within you and you focus in the direction of that new desire, you feel satisfaction. In fact, that's what satisfaction only and always is. You cannot ever feel satisfaction by looking in the direction of what someone else wants for you. It is your life that has caused you to define it, and then when you look in the direction of it, you feel the alignment of the becoming of that newness that you are creating. So we like to say to you that you are here as vibrational beings in a vibrational universe, experiencing the powerful law of attraction, which is responding to the vibration of all that is, and that as you are conscious that you are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe, then you can begin to enjoy what you came to live, what you came to experience, which is the deliciousness of thoughts turning to things. That's why you live in this time and place, in this time-space reality where your physical senses, these glorious, unconscious to you in most cases, senses that explain vibration to you in tactile physical terms. What you see is a translation of vibration. What you smell is a translation of vibration. What you feel with your fingertips and taste with your tongue, what you see and hear and smell and taste and touch, all of this is an interpretation of vibration. You came to turn thoughts to things. You came to find vibrations and to calibrate to what you really want, so that the energy that creates worlds can assist you in the creation of what you are about. You are important to the expansion of the universe. You didn't come to fix something or to make up for something. You didn't come to fix a broken world. It isn't broken. You came for the joyous experience of delicious and deliberate conscious expansion. So sometimes you're having expansion, you're just not conscious about it. And sometimes you're in the phase of expansion where you're in step one, where you know what you don't want, and that doesn't feel so good to you. It's really helpful to know that there are other steps. That step one is contrast that helps you to choose even when you don't know you're choosing. In other words, when you see something that you really don't want, you are launching a rocket of desire about what you do want, whether you know that you are or not. Step two is, once that takes place, the larger part of you focuses unequivocally on what you are asking for. Oh, that's when it really starts to get good. Because now you have source energy focused with you on your behalf about something that you want. We want to pause just for a moment here to amplify for you what that means. That means that you have on your side, on your team, non-physical energy who is non-resistant at all times. You have someone focused upon what you want with no downside to it, no contradiction to it. Do you know that one who is connected to this stream of well-being is more powerful than millions who are not? We cannot even find good analogies to help you to feel the difference between the power of a non-resisted thought and the weakness of a resisted thought. So you have on your side, on your team, source energy who is focused upon what you are asking for in a non-resisted way, which means heaven and earth are moving. Excuse the analogies because it just isn't really like that. But all things are moving on your behalf. All cooperative components are being gathered and assembled because your inner being is focused upon what you are asking for. The question is, Are you a cooperative component? The answer is usually not right away. In other words, you could be a cooperative component, and when you feel frisky and eager and excited about it, you are. But if you're doubtful and worried, if you're still coming from that place of defending why you want something by pointing out how bad it is not to have it, then you're not a cooperative component. But that doesn't stop the resourcefulness of the law of attraction and your source energy from gathering the cooperative components. And so you're doing step one, and source is doing step two. When you ask, it is given. There is a vibrational gathering of all things necessary for the coming about of what you're asking for. In other words, your thoughts have already begun to turn to things. Step one, step two, you ask, it is given. But you cannot yet see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it because it hasn't yet turned to things. It's a vibrational beginning. It's like the fetus in the womb. It is in the place of becoming. You have not yet fully given birth to it. But as humans, you don't want to be happy about it until you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it. And that's what trips you up, because you keep looking for something that you want, and in its absence, instead of seeing what you want, you see the absence of it, and then you hold yourself without it because you get what you're focused upon, and you're focused upon the absence of what you want. You get how that goes? Now, if your inner being were also focused upon the absence of what you want, you'd feel no negative emotion because there would be no discordant vibration between you and you. But because your inner being is always focused upon what you want, when you focus in opposition, you sort of put a tug of war. You tear yourself apart a bit. That's a good way of saying it. So stop it. So here you are in your physical bodies. Magnificent physical bodies, right as you intended to be, exploring life, giving birth to more, and now wanting to calibrate yourself into vibrational accord with what you're asking for. Sometimes, we know, you come to a gathering like this, and you see a woman who seems pretty sure of what she's saying. She certainly likes the sound of it. And she's forceful and strong, and you might think, well, here's another person with a strong opinion, and maybe there's something of value for me. Maybe I'll take a piece of it, maybe I'll apply it, and maybe my life will improve as a result of it. And that's all fine. That's what is happening all over your world. You're witnessing one another and learning from each other and experiencing benefit from one another. And we like all of that. But there's another thing that we like that can happen for you here, and that is when we offer a suggestion to you, when we explain to you the laws of the universe, and we explain to you that there's an inner being you and there is a physical you, and that when there is harmony between the two, you feel wonderful. And when we explain to you that you are a vibrational being, and that when you have resistance because of what you're thinking about, your vibration is more sluggish because you've introduced resistance to it. And a sluggish vibration does not allow you full alignment with who you really are. And when we explain to you that full alignment with who you really are not only produces clarity and sure-footedness, but it is also a refreshment that is really what life is all about. In other words, you're here refueling and refreshing with this replenishing energy of source. So then we offer to you a process like meditation. We say to you, if you can find a time every day to quiet your mind for 15 or 20 minutes, and by quiet your mind, we just mean no longer think the normal thoughts you think. And by no longer thinking the normal thoughts you think, we mean really quieting your mind so that you're not thinking any thoughts, because it's easier to think no thoughts than to try to think pure positive thoughts when you've been thinking something other than pure positive thoughts. It's easier to think no thought. So then we say, just listen to something that is boring, like maybe the sound of the air conditioner. Find something in that sound and focus on it. And when you do, if you really will, as you focus, sometimes your mind will wander. Sometimes it will take Esther 5 minutes to stop thinking about whatever the momentum of her thoughts are and to focus upon the air conditioner. So your mind quiets, and when you stop thinking thoughts, you stop negative thought. And when you stop negative thought, you stop resistance. And when there's no resistance, your vibration rises. And when your vibration rises, You calibrate. You allow the natural calibration. You allow yourself to be a cooperative component to the frequency of your source, who, as it is gathering cooperative components, gathers you because you are non-resistant. You see, the law of attraction cannot ever gather a non-cooperative component. Law of attraction doesn't allow that. That's why we say cooperative components are being gathered. When you are meditating and your mind is quiet, you become a cooperative component to your own high frequency. You see how it works? So you allow yourself that rising of vibration. And as you do that, after a day or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day, what happens is you'll reach this state of non-resistant, where now the thoughts that your inner being is thinking about the important things in your life can be received by you. You'll find yourself actually thinking the thoughts that your inner being is thinking about the things that matter to you. Sometimes you'll have an epiphany. Sometimes it's just a thought of something that feels fun to do. Esther will have a thought like, I think I'll move the furniture around again. And it sounds silly, but it's a thought that feels good to her. And we have a few stories, we won't tell you all of them to you here today, where that thought led to something, led to something, led to something, led to something. And after the fact, Esther understood how she was receiving from her inner being thoughts that were the path of least resistance. In other words, your inner being knows where you are in relationship to everything you want. And so, as you find this new non-resistant place or state of being, your inner being will actually think a thought that will be easier for you to think. And as you think that thought, it will lead to that thought, which will lead to that thought. And before you know it, you're witnessing thoughts turning to things in your experience. So, the point that we were making with all of that is, so now, it's not just like someone who seems pretty sure about what she's talking about standing on the stage. Now you have first-hand experience where you've quieted your mind, you've achieved vibrational connection or calibration with your own inner being, you have felt the impulse about something, you've followed through with it, and now you understand how it all works. It's not just a theory that someone has, it's something that you have experienced and practiced, and once you've experienced it with one thing, you can do it with all things. We so much want you to understand that life has caused you to ask for so many things that you have enough in your vibrational reality to keep you living happily ever after for 20 or 30 lifetimes. And that when you reach this place of letting your resistance dissipate and letting your calibration or alignment to who you really are be a more dominant part of your experience, those who are watching you will begin noticing more of the things that they've heard you talking about that you desire flowing into your experience. They will notice an uptake in the way you feel. Your mood will be elevated. You will be happy and alive about life. You'll be eager about things. Your timing will be really good. You'll find yourself feeling an impulse to leave your house at just the right time to accommodate whatever's happening in traffic. You'll find yourself rendezvousing with people, some people you know and some people you don't even know, and you'll have the impulse to say something just at the right time that will be meaningful to them or to you or to both of you at the same time. In other words, you will be tuned into the knowledge and understanding that your inner being has about where you are in relationship to all things you want. And this is what we really want you to hear. You will be witnessing the deliberate creation of your own life experience, and nothing less than that will ever be satisfying to you. You are a creator, and you are the creator of your own reality. And you've come with others to bounce off one another, but to come to your own conclusions of what you want. And it is our powerful desire that you begin the living happily ever after right here, right now. Deprivation will never take you to anything that you want. There is no virtue in sacrifice. There is no virtue in putting yourself in a position of awkward behavior. You are powerful creators. And we are so happy to know you.